Sorry, people, it's a bit loud. Alors, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today at this lunch presentation. We have a few people online as well, but most of the things will be happening here in person. So I'm Chantal Rabia. Some of you may know. I'm Clinical Research Coordinator at Academic Affairs of the CIS Centre-Ouest. I have with me Sarika Gopalakrishnan. I try.
Yeah.
Again?
Sarika Gopalakrishnan.
Okay, I won't try that.
No, people call me Dr. G. That's
There you go,
that's
Dr. G. Easier this way. We have Dr. G with us. She is currently doing a postdoctoral fellowship at the School of Optometry under you, I believe, Walter Wittich, who's professor at the school. She is also an optometrist herself, and she'll be presenting today on the use of virtual reality, augmented reality in visual rehabilitation. So I'll start the screen sharing, so then it's your turn to speak. Let me see. Screen share this. Can you see the screen online?
Oui.
Merci.
De rien.
We can minimize that little window so that we can.
Yes. Yeah.
Hope I'm not blocking this screen.
No, you're good.
Yeah. Okay. So, hello everyone. Hola. And yeah, sorry, I don't know French. So this is going to be only English presentation. So thank you. And it's a great pleasure being here. So thank you, Dr. Walter Wittich, for organizing this. And thank you, Chantal. Hope I'm saying correctly. So thanks for the wonderful meet. So today we'll be understanding how do virtual reality and augmented reality devices are helpful in visual rehabilitation. So I'll be covering a bit of virtual reality work, what I did in the past during my PhD, and what I did with augmented reality devices, again in my PhD work, and what I'm currently doing. So you know the statistics, but still I would like to highlight on every presentation of mine because I just want to say how important it is to know how many people are suffering from low vision and blindness all over the world. So according to World Health Organization, you have so many million people of visually impaired people, of which 246 million people have low vision and the rest are blind. So the reason I say this is we have still a lot of opportunities like optometrists or visual rehabilitation professionals to improve the residual vision using these kind of devices. So this is another level of statistics. I usually show this to understand in billions, like 2.2 billion people have visual impairment. And this is a sad slide. So these are top 10 countries with vision loss, according to IAPB, International Agency for Prevention of Blindness. Unfortunately, India starts on the top. So that is where I come from. So you know how impactful vision loss is in India. So being a most populated country in the whole world, I would not say China and India has a major difference in terms of population. It's going to be more.
Just as a comment, you will have people as audience today who are visually impaired. They may be online or in the room.
Oh, okay.
If there's something you need people to know, I would say that out.
Sure. Thank you so much. So there is some statistics on the slide that I'm showing now currently. So there is a table with how many number of people in India with vision loss. So there are total 275 million people who live with blindness and vision loss. And the reason I'm saying this is there are so many countries who need a lot of visual rehabilitation services depending on the population and the number of people with vision loss. So a little bit background about myself. I was working in one of the best and largest eye care hospital in the whole of Asia, where we have 2,500 patients every day, fresh walk-in patients, excluding the follow-up patients. So it is such a large eye care unit. And I established low vision services for the first time in the hospital in the year 2009. Then where we were when we were seeing like more than 600 patients in a month. And in the year 2018, I could initiate a comprehensive rehabilitation center. And right now they're seeing more than 800 patients in a month. And I have 15 years of clinical experience with serving more than 50,000 patients with low vision. So I always like this definition. This is a definition of low vision that I use for my research. So a person with low vision is one who has impairment of visual functioning even after best possible treatment and a standard refractive correction with a visual acuity of less than 20/60 to light perception or 6/18 and with a visual field of less than 10 degrees from the point of fixation, but who uses and is potentially able to use vision for the planning or execution of the task. Because I have seen many patients who doesn't want to use vision. So they'll be keeping keeping the eyes closed always. So I would be like crying, please open your eyes. You still have vision. You're not blind. So you can still use whatever vision that you have. So many times people think the moment they are low vision, they are blind. I just want to segregate both. So except those who have no light perception, both the eyes, I don't call them blind, and I don't like them calling blind. So because I feel vision can be improved. So these are some of the categories of visual impairment. You have this different in different countries and continents depending on the government concession and benefits. You know a lot about what are the concession benefits that people get when they have vision loss. So conditions causing low vision are broadly classified in central field loss, peripheral field loss, and overall blurred vision. I always have this small wish in my life to understand which is worse. I know many people tease me that you're comparing an apple with an orange, but still, I just want to quantify how difficult their life is. So at least to estimate that in their day-to-day activities, I have attempted doing some studies. So I'll tell you this in detail when I go to the methodology. So after every possible treatment, suppose if the patient asks, doctor, will my vision improve further? Then the doctor says, don't worry, please go to low vision care clinic. There is some possibility there, of course, because I hate saying there is nothing can be done. You are blind. So there are so many ophthalmologists who says that even now. So I always use this slide. I don't know. It's not jumping to the next slide. No, what is happening?
Yeah, if you click the arrow on the bottom.
Yeah, I did that. Okay.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you
Okay. So because psychologically, you know well that people with low vision are undergoing or have undergone so many things. So initially, why me? Shock, anger, denial, depression, anxiety. And I don't know if it is common here or not, at least in India, many times when they hear that there is no further treatment for your problem, they go end their life. It is very common. So they think vision is their life. So that is why I tell to all my students, like saving vision is saving life many times. So each and every word we speak to the patient really matters a lot because they treat doctors as gods. So when the doctor says there is no treatment, and sometimes they don't even think of going to another hospital and check for it, before that they take wrong decisions. So I always feel low vision rehabilitation services is helping them to bring them back to the regular stream with a lot of self-confidence and motivation, definitely if they are depressed. Yeah, why functional vision? So sometimes we know people who have visual acuity of less than 6/18 are not comfortable. Sometimes people will have 6/6 and 6, which is supposed to be normal. Still, patient will not be comfortable doing their daily living task. So that is when we wanted to assess how this functional vision is going to make an impact. So what we test in the clinic is not directly equivalent to what the household task that they're doing, right? So for example, we don't know how much vision is required for cutting vegetables or watching television or mobility. So for example, depositing a challan in the bank. So there are so many works that we are doing. We don't have any visual acuity or visual field standards for that particular task. So we wanted to do a functional vision assessment. What we're doing currently is not equivalent to the real life scenario. So there are some questionnaires and which are not very objective. So we wanted to do it in an objective way using virtual reality. So there are some literatures on virtual reality which has evaluated the postural control, wayfinding tasks, virtual streets, driving experiments, but not many parameters in one setting. So we wanted to really create a virtual reality experiment with a lot of daily living task experience. So the methodology was to recruit participants from low vision clinic, and they would undergo a comprehensive low vision workup. And we did assessment with VR, where we had 3 different phases: a qualitative phase, a development phase, and a quantitative phase. And in the quantitative phase, we had compared people with normally sighted and low vision, and we did a comparative analysis. So this was a prospective study, done for a year, and the total participants were 83. And normally cited were 53 numbers and 30 low vision individuals. So initially we had a very good focus group discussion to understand what are all the difficulties they face in their day-to-day activities. So we had 2 separate groups, one for central field loss, as I said, on a separate day for peripheral field loss. And we had a lot of insights coming from the focus group discussion. So for example, in one of the focus group discussion, people with peripheral field loss was saying, like, I used to travel in a bus. In India, they give bus tickets, small piece of paper, and when they miss that, they take a lot of time to identify that and pick it up. So we tried incorporating this in the virtual scenario that we'll be showing in a few minutes. So likewise, we tried understanding what are all the daily living activities that they do and what are the difficulties they face. And based on that, we designed the virtual reality scenario. So the devices that I used was Oculus Rift CVI. Right now it is bought by Meta, so it is no more Oculus. So with Oculus Touch controllers, and it has a very good resolution with more than 90 hertz, so that it will not have so much of lag, and with a good graphics from NVIDIA GTX. So virtual reality can be defined as use of computer modeling and simulations which help a person in interacting with the artificial 3D environment. So when we were ready with so many storyboards and so many scenarios, like a restaurant, like a crowded street, we want to decide which one to be done first, and with the money that what we had, because they charged us so high. So every second we were charged 15,000 rupees in Indian money. So when we wanted to do a 10-minute video, it was like a whole lot of money. So we decided of doing virtual bank enrollment initially. So at least every participant would have gone to a bank at least once in their lifetime, even if they're literate or illiterate. So we thought of doing a bank environment. So this is a small video of this virtual bank scenario. Sorry if someone cannot see this. So I'm showing a small video of the virtual reality experiment that we designed. So we tested a lot many parameters. We'll be going to that in a moment. So this is the scenario that I said. The patient will be having the slip that is missed, and someone is giving to the patient, and they're trying to pick that up, and they're walking towards the counter to deposit the challan. So whatever you do in a bank, so we had all the tasks to be done, like sitting and doing, walking and doing, standing and doing. So this is like a 10-minute video that they could experience in a experimental room. So these are the tasks that they did during the experiment. This is a very complicated scoring system. We wanted like one final number which says how is the visual performance was. So we could test a lot many parameters during that 10 minutes. So finally we arrived at the composite score of 100. So if the score is 100, it is the best score. And if it is 0, it is worst score, depending on the time taken and the quality and the errors, whatever they did. So coming to the results part of this study, we had so many themes emerge from the qualitative interview that I said, the focus group discussion. So based on that, we designed majority of the parameters were included in the virtual reality experiment, like a visual acuity, mobility parameters, and hit rate, error rate, their spatial orientation, and visual acuity contrast, all these. So these are the snapshots of the virtual bank scenario. So initially the participant will be standing outside the bank. We did a lot of homework going to the real bank, understanding how is the lighting setup, indoor, outdoor, and how things are organized, everything. So based on the learning, we designed this. And this is like first of its kind study in the whole country. So we really wanted to be a role model so that based on this, there will be so many other people who will do research on this. So and right now, the participant is standing outside the bank, and the examiner will be changing the level of contrast from minimum to maximum. So whenever the participant is able to read the text, they will go to the next scenario. So meantime, the time will be calculated. So you see enter here in this door. So that is for distance contrast. And once they enter the bank, they will see two different challans. So this is for near contrast. And this is for preferred contrast, white on black, black on white, because some people, they prefer reverse contrast. So we wanted to see how this works. Then near visual angle, we call near visual acuity as near visual angle because everything was measured in angle in the virtual reality setup. So then there will be a token display board where they are seated and they will be pointing it out using the triggers. So initially they were given some demonstration session on how to use the triggers and sensors. So based on that, they will be able to do this. Then there will be some numbers on the display board. This is something equivalent to your TopCon or Snellen, the projection chart. So you have that distant visual angle measured. Then this is visual search, the token. Then the hit rate, there'll be people coming in front of them. They have to move without hitting on them. So how many hit they made a number. Then spatial orientation, they have to exactly keep the chalon on the authority's hand. Then they have to find the exit door. So these are the 10 different scenarios that we designed. Based on that, we could measure all the visual parameters in different control levels. So distance contrast, near contrast, distant visual angle, near visual angle were significantly different among people with normal and low vision, as expected. Again, among central field loss and peripheral field loss, many things were not significantly different. And when you see the nature of vision loss, peripheral field loss, majority of them had retinitis pigmentosa, and for central field loss, majority of them had Stargardt's. And when you see the time comparison, naturally, people with normally sighted took lesser time for doing the task when compared to people with low vision. Among low vision, people with peripheral field loss took more time when compared to central field loss. And I feel that is a difference. And even when we were observing, people with peripheral field loss had more difficulty while doing the task when compared to central field loss people. So we did some receiver operating characteristic curve analysis, ROC curve, to understand which score is like a normative score. So we found a cutoff point of 76.8, above which people were considered to be normal based on their visual performance in the VR scenario, and below which they were considered to be low vision. So as expected, the normally sighted group had a visual performance score of 87, and low vision had 61, which was significantly different with a p-value of less than 0.001. And as I said, central field loss and peripheral field loss did not have significant difference, but the score was little higher or better in case of CFL when compared to PFL. So coming to the discussion part, previous studies have shown the validity of VR in one task, like not more than one particular task. So we had so many tasks done. So this will give you an overall composite score, or it can be an indicator of how their quality of life based on their performance. So the lower the score will indicate lower quality of life. So these are my publications. If you're interested, I can share this later with you from that part of the study. So I was fortunate to use some augmented reality devices as a part of my PhD. So I always try to differentiate in this way. So virtual reality is for assessment and augmented reality for intervention, for better understanding. So if you want to know the difference in a simple way, say, for example, you want to wear a head-mounted gear and you want to experience how you want to see the Eiffel Tower, or from top of the Eiffel Tower, or underwater aquarium. So if you want to experience these, you will have that in your 360-degree world, and you'll be entirely cut off from the real world. You won't see who are in front of you. you'll be entirely in the virtual world. So that is how I define virtual reality. Augmented reality devices, you will see things in front of you and in an enhanced way. So that is why I wanted to use augmented reality for intervention of people with low vision. So there are a lot of hardwares that use both, sometimes even mixed reality, but I would always define based on the application. So for example, the same hardware can be used for both the technologies. So don't get confused with that. Whatever is the application, depending on that, you can understand why it is used for. So you have, I'm going to the next set of experiment. You have so many low vision devices for helping people with low vision. And for distance, near, electronic devices like enhancement training, like eccentric viewing technique, head scanning technique. But we don't have one-stop solution. So as an optometrist, I was really tired of prescribing 5-6 devices for 5-6 tasks, right? So you should take a spectacle magnifier for reading and a handle magnifier for spot reading. So sometimes even after you say 100 times, they will forget, right? And they might have Alzheimer's or they have memory loss or elderly patients. So they forget to take and the whole life becomes very cumbersome. So we always were thinking of one solution for at least more than one visual task. So single low vision device is not enough for all the visual tasks that they do in a particular day, and multiple devices are cumbersome. So we wanted to give one solution through these augmented reality devices. That is the main aim of doing this part of the study. So augmented reality is defined as a live, direct view of physical real world environment whose elements are augmented by computer generated sensory input such as sound, video, and graphic data. So the basic 3 characteristics of AR is like an overlay of real and digital world, real-time interaction, and registration with 3D environment. So there are first generation AR devices, which started in 1998 or so many other devices. And there are second generation of AR devices. In fact, when I wanted to do something like this study, the first paper that I cited was Dr. Walter's work. So I always see him as like father of all these low vision augmented reality devices because I learned how it is used based on his work. So I never expected that I will work with him when I was doing all this in 2018. So I'm really feeling so happy and excited and fortunate to work with him. So he's so nice and accepting me as a student. So like, yeah, I have told to all my students about his work and that I'm working with him currently. So I'm super proud of it. So why augmented reality devices? There are some literatures done based on whatever the previous literatures are, like they have tried using these devices for accuracy and confidence level of people, for people with near complete vision loss, and home-based training techniques like biofeedback training, and for people with central field loss, and feasibility of using this in a hospital-based setup. But no one has really tried improving the visual acuity or contrast or any other visual parameters during those times. So I tried doing this in a clinical setup where we wanted to assess how this visual acuity improves and what are the other visual tasks that they are able to perform with these devices. So we recruited patients with low vision. We have so many patients who were willing to participate in this kind of innovative study. So we had again a qualitative phase and a quantitative phase on this part of the study. And we compared CFL, PFL, and OBV. So this was a prospective study with 100 participants, with CFL 21 people, PFL 35 people, and overall blurred vision 44. So this definition we saw, and I'm skipping that. So I had a Samsung Gear headset installed with Relumino software, and that gave a wider field of view of 101 degree. So this was really a wow kind of experience for everyone. I have some devices here for you to experience at the end of this talk. So when you use these devices, this is how you look. So for those who cannot see, if you have a visual of like, if say for example, if you are able to see larger prints, the newspaper headlines, then you'll be able to see the smaller prints. So that is how I explain my patients. So you can zoom up to 8 times, 15 times, depending on which device you use, and it enhances the vision in a special way, depending on the image processing that is done. So you can have boost, you can have outlines, you can have edge enhancements, you can have magnification, contrast, and everything put together like a big recipe. So now these augmented reality devices are helpful for people to see what is the in front of them. So there are different forms in like a spectacle form and a head mounted form. So there are so many devices. I don't know why this is not moving. Is there anything that I should do? I'm just looking for page down button if that is
Yeah.
possible in the keyboard. Yeah. Nothing is operating.
Oh, just restart the share.
Mhm. I don't know,
The
sometimes
internet
that
is,
works.
yeah,
Oh.
the internet is unstable, it
Mhm.
seems.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Let's see if we can move from this one.
That would be great. Yes,
Yeah,
perfect.
okay.
Yeah, hopefully they see that. So yeah, so I used what Veteran Affair a low vision visual functioning questionnaire, VLV-VFQ, 48 items. So that had 4 domains like distance, near, mobility, daily living. So these are the questionnaires. And I used another form like a head mounted display user evaluation form. So this was helpful understanding how was the perception of the device at initial presentation. And we did a home loan. We gave this device as a home loan for around 2 weeks. So we could have the perception after the home loan. So what we basically did was like we had a pre-score when they initially attended the clinic. So we asked them to fill that questionnaire, and we had a score from that. And later we gave them a training with the AR device, and we gave this device to home for 2 weeks. And once in 5 days, we called them and asked if they have any difficulty using it, and asked for the comfortability with the device. And after 15 days, they returned to the clinic and they returned the device, and they filled the questionnaire again. And plus they gave a lot of oral feedback. So coming to the results, we wanted to see what are the factors that is affecting how is the visual improvement happened. So this is basic the demographic details. Basically, a majority of them were employed and few had discontinued, and every majority of them had both distance and near vision problems. This is based on their history. And majority of them were aphakic, those who have undergone surgery, cataract surgery, and if the intraocular lens is not kept inside, that is aphakic. And if the intraocular lens is kept inside, that is pseudophakic. And those who have natural lens, they're phakic. And majority of them had myopic astigmatism in CFL and PFL group. And in OBV group, majority of them had hyperopic astigmatism. So again, we wanted to classify the device, the diseases causing low vision. So in case of central field loss, unlike here it would be ARMD, as you all know, but in India, it was myopic macular degeneration and cone dystrophy. That was a major reason for central field loss. Again, in retina related, in optic nerve related condition, it was Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy. For peripheral field loss, it is retinitis pigmentosa. For retina related and optic nerve related, it was glaucoma. So for generalized field loss, it was retinal detachment, so and optic atrophy. So we had significant lines of improvement with these augmented reality devices. So we will see how worse the visual acuity was before giving it, and after giving it, how much it is improved. So this is like an overall improvement, and we compared that with the correction, their best refractive correction, and with their actual LBD, whatever they were using or prescribed to them, and with this AR device. So naturally, the augmented reality device had maximum amount of improvement when compared to all others, and with a significant p-value for both distance and near. So these are different factors which influenced the amount of improvement. But irrespective of the age, gender, visual field loss, and severity of visual impairment, everyone had improvement. So this is what I liked in these kind of devices. And even if you see near blind, like with a logMAR value of 1.9, so which is very less vision. So people think themselves as blind. So this is why I was telling about what they think about themselves as blind in the initial slides. They were all seeing. So sometimes they were not able to believe how much they were seeing. So I used to give a real newspaper for them to understand, see, you're reading the newspaper, small print. So many times they get tears when they really understand how much they're able to see with these devices. So it was a miraculous kind of improvement. And the moment you show them, they say, wow. So it's showing them everything which they were not able to see so far because of their low vision. So sometimes it is more than what we can explain in words. So the average item score was sum of total item score divided by the 48 minus and not applicable, that is number of U. So the pre-score was 0.35 and the post-score was 1.89. So definitely there was significant amount of improvement with a p-value of 0.001. So overall comfortability improved over a period of time when they used this at home, because initially they had some struggles, but after a few weeks, definitely they were, we could see the difference in their improvement, but except for mobility tasks, but they didn't do a lot of mobility tasks with this device. So regarding the perception of the head-mounted device, majority of them said it was very easy for operating and locating, and it is good for magnification for distance, near, and even before the home loan. So some said it is heavy and the size is so huge. And after the home loan, so many were happy with the device, except for the size and the weight. So overall rating was too good, and people were ready to buy even if it is more than 1 lakh Indian rupees. And these are the real feedback from the participants. So they said like it is a user-friendly device. It is used for stitching, painting, craft work, drawing, and pencil writing was very clear and easy to access system. System means computer. So no problem while using the device, and effective and clear identification of objects and people, improves vision for distant, intermediate, and near. Reading and writing was much better with this device. So there was some other feedback for improvement. So people said while seeing different objects, there is different in focus, but that is not an issue now. They have changed it and modified it or upgraded it. So more than 20 to 30 minutes, they were not able to wear it. It was like a bit heavy on their nose, and people wanted it in the form of glasses. So they were asking like, why don't you give me this in the glass? So application could be given for other mobile accessible devices, not only Samsung. So OCR and voice control can be improved. So these are the real verbatims that they shared with us. This is in Tamil. So, and I'm not reading the one in the English. It's all similar to what I said before. So what is there in the Tamil is like they're saying, please spread this message to all the low vision patients. It is going to be helpful for everyone. So that was so sweet of that particular participant. And I always like to show this slide. This is like a Tanjore painting for whoever knows about it. This needs a lot of professional training for 5 to 6 years. And this patient, especially, I remember her very well. So she had very less vision. You know, that is 20,200. So 6 by 360 or even less. So she was thinking herself as completely blind, that she was not able to do anything. But during this 2 weeks of home loan, she was able to do this wonderful painting. And seeing this, Samsung CEO got so moved, and they were really wanted to collaborate with Shankar Nethralaya, and they provided 100 devices at free of cost. Please give these devices you can to whoever you want, so that people get benefits like this. So this is the size of this projector screen. So she made this with those stones and pebbles and all this. Like, we call him as Lord Krishna. So this is a very famous painting that people who are skilled could do. So she was doing this after nearly 20 years of blindness. So that was really touching moment. So these are my publications from this part of the study. I'm coming to the current research, what I'm doing. So if you remember, at the end of my PhD, I thought like spectacle model AR will be the best. So this is what I'm currently doing as my postdoc. So I want to compare different models of augmented reality devices and understand which helps best for which type of visual task. And this is what I'm doing for the past 2 years. So I have Ziru, that is from Oxford, that is like a standalone model, phone fitted inside a head mounted display. And there is another model, Iris Vision, where you can have the phone as a phone and also phone as an augmented reality device. So the third one is a spectacle model, that is New Eyes Pro 3, something similar to eSight. So what we did was same thing. This was done in US at Envision Research Institute. So we wanted to see how well the vision is improving. So we had functional vision score measured, VA, VFQ again here, and HMD user experience form. And I designed an indoor mobility course where they could use these devices and identify some objects. And we did a comparative analysis without and with the AR. So this is again a prospective study done for a year with 27 participants. So WHO, all categories were included who were aged above 18 years, and subjects with multiple disabilities and claustrophobia, epilepsy were excluded. So these are the technical specification of this device. I will tell you in short for those who cannot see the slide. So the price of the device that is from Oxford is $700. Iris Vision is $2,999, so $1 less than 3,000. And New Eyes is nearly $4,000, $1 less than 4,000. So there is so much amount of difference in the price. And if you see the quality of the device, then you will see how that can be compared with the price. So we did nearly 10 visual functions on day 1. And day 2, we had a separate set of experiments done by these people. So I tested distant visual acuity, near visual acuity, central field, peripheral field, distance perception. I designed another set of tests for assessing the distance perception. There will be 5 boxes hanging in different distance and height. And the participants and the top portion and the bottom portion of these boxes will be covered. So the participants should be able to say which is closer to them with these devices. And it was surprising that they saw everything flat. So I'll tell you more funny stories when we come to the results part of it. So I checked seriousness using Frisbee test and the navigation experiment in the mobility course. Then Envision has a cool grocery store, a medicine store, a vegetable shop, all that, like as if they give a rehabilitation training. So like in a real setup, so they have some simulated home, kitchen, everything. So I used maximum out of that for doing my experiments. So they could do some visual search experiments in the simulated area. And I checked color vision using PV16, then some visual search task. So this was the distance perception test design to understand how far they're able to see the depth perception of objects. And this is the mobility course design. I had 10 different toys, soft toys, hanging in different heights, like head level, waist level, and floor level, all over the room. And I changed the position of these toys for all these 4 conditions. So without AR, with 3 different AR devices. So it was really funny. Every participant liked a lot to do this because this room was really colorful and it was like a game for them. So they really enjoyed doing it. So this, majority of them had central field loss, then followed by peripheral field loss. Zero and Iris Vision had significant amount of improvement for visual acuity tested in different contrast levels. So I tested the contrast level in 4 different settings: high luminance, high contrast, high luminance, low contrast, low luminance, high contrast, and low luminance, low contrast. For example, the amount of light that you have in this room is not the same when you walk on the road, right? So it definitely makes a difference. So I wanted to test in all different lighting conditions. So as I said, Zero and Iris Vision had improvement, but New Eyes had improvement with low luminance background, but not in high luminance. We don't know why. So this is the same spreadsheet and the box plot of whatever the data I showed. So near vision acuity did improve with Zero and Iris Vision, but not with New Eyes. It had, in fact, a decrease in the near visual acuity. We don't know why. It was not designed for near. That was shocking to know that later. So better Pelly-Robson contrast test showed improvement in with Zero and Iris Vision for both distance and near, but again, not with New Eyes. So I did something called functional vision score. I always liked this because I was part of the blind cricket team. If you must have heard of the World Blind Cricket Council, I have this World Blind Cricket conducted. So I was in part of the selection. So you use visual functional score for choosing the players and who need to play where. and if you know about crickets. So this is based in, this was designed by Don Fletcher. He is one of my mentor who lives in Wichita. So functional acuity score and functional field score collectively put together, you will get functional vision score. So the acuity score improved with all three devices, but the field score was significantly reduced with new eyes. Probably this is why people didn't like it. So now you remember every patient of mine or participant wanted the AR devices in a spectacle form. The moment you bring it in a spectacle form, the field is restricted. So now people doesn't like it. So what I thought is going to be happening in the future is not happening now. So I'm unproving myself that spectacle model are not the best. So probably for some functions, but not for everything. So functional vision score also significantly improved with zero and iris vision, but not with new eyes because of the field score. So then object identification tasks, that the mobility task, the number of objects missed was not significantly different when compared to the baseline and zero, but significantly different when people were using iris vision new eyes, meaning more objects were missed. And object identification task again showed majority of the objects that were missed were like in head level. That could be because these are head mounted devices, and that is why they missed. So coming to the discussion, the distant visual acuity had significant improvement, and irrespective of severity of visual impairment, everyone had a significant improvement. And majority of the visual functions had improvement with zero and iris vision, but not with new eyes, because new eyes was not designed for near work and few things cannot be done. So spectacle model HMD has significant lesser field of view. This is what we learned from this part of study. And further research needs to be done to understand why this difference in the quality of image. It could be because of camera resolution or image enhancement. It could be anything. So conclusion is augmented reality devices are helpful in improving the visual acuity of people with low vision in various lighting conditions. And as I said, zero and iris vision are doing better. So this part of my publication is in preprint. So to have a take-home message as a whole for this presentation, virtual reality simulation experiments are promising for assessments and evaluating functional ability of people with low vision, and design of more real-life scenario, like as I said, supermarket, a crowded street. When you give a lot of training, like with gaze, regaze measurements, we expect people with low vision to work better in the real-life environment. We don't know. So a differently able public-friendly environment can be designed in the future. That is like a very, very long-term dream. So augmented reality device would help in visual rehabilitation for improving the independence, ADL, and thereby visual performance of individuals with low vision. And recommendation of best model of augmented reality devices for specific visual needs will be useful. That is what I'm trying to do. So these are my references, and thank you for your attention.
So we have room for questions in the room. I'll start with you. If you have any comments or questions.
On a une question, on a une main qui est ici en
En
ligne.
ligne?
Oui.
C'est
Anna Dorfman, oui.
And I'll just wait for those in the room if they have any questions or comments. For now, not yet. Okay, Anna, it's your turn.
Hi, thank you for what a wonderful presentation. I'm just curious, the participants that you had they already received vision rehab services, or were they like newly referred clients to you that haven't been seen by professionals yet?
Newly referred patients, because they come to me first after seeing the doctor. Then when they hear there is no further treatment, so all of them are newly referred patients. And in India, it's very rare to have follow-ups. We need to have them finished in one shot. So only the local patients who resides in that particular locality will be coming for follow-up. So whoever we could do for this participant study as a home loan were residing in the same locality. So yes, to answer your question, none of them had any rehabilitation services before.
Okay, thank you. I have another question. Maybe
Yes.
I might have missed it when you said it, but I'm wondering, when you move forward in your research, what is the likelihood, or what are you predicting might be possible for your participants to transfer their skills when they are not wearing the AR glasses?
Actually, when you have VR experiments, we expect the transfer. So that is why I didn't want to confuse both. So when you do a lot of rehabilitation training in a VR setup, like say, for example, you will not be able to assess someone walking perfectly in the real road, but you can do that in the virtual experiments. So when you give a lot of gaze re-gaze training and in a crowded street in a virtual experiment, we can expect that same eye movements can be followed in the real life. So that is possible in the VR experiment. In AR, you will be using the devices, and then you will be seeing things better. So without AR devices, they cannot see anything. Is that
Okay.
clear? Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, it's probably a sign of the future that, you know, as technology grows and advances, we'll be using more, you know, virtual platforms to do work. Thank you very much. Very interesting.
Thank you.
I'm just curious how many of you have used or worked with any clients using any of the AR that are out there?
Oh, is that usually, sorry.